This is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and you are listening to the Wrestling POV podcast.
Greetings and salutations. This is the Keith Lee impression. Good God. Bro, and he main evented AEW. What the fuck?
No,
what the fuck?
I don't understand Keith Lee. I mean, what happened to him? Like he look. This is different than the NXT Keith Lee we remember.
So different.
He looks awful.
He looks like my grandfather.
We're gonna have the grandfather conversation later when we get to the WWE sale. Don't you worry about that. But,
there you go.
But the thing is, like, I love Keith Lee. Don't get me wrong. Anything to do with Keith Lee outside of Bearcat, I'm cool.
Right.
But it's just, what the fuck is with his hair? Because it might be naturally gray, but on TV it doesn't look good. I'm sorry.
Oh, it doesn't.
No.
And secondly, why is he wearing a cape?
That's another thing that I am not 100% what's going on. But we'll talk about that more in AEW. This week, we are back with Wrestling POV Podcast. I am your host, the $50 man, Clay Cummings, along with the gentleman, the Luchasaurus of Wrestling POV. And it is his birthday today, gosh dang it, Elio Canella.
Again, what's going on?
And joining us, and sorry to say, Tony Diaz, he took another break because of what he was saying last week. The WPOV president was like, you gotta take a little bit of break, brother.
Well, no, actually, he decided to take a break with all this news of him being canceled. I told him, don't worry, this week coming up, I have a meeting with the president, so I'll have results for him next week.
There we go.
I heard that rant and it was awesome. So any suspension that he got, totally worth it.
There you go. And talking right there, joining us tonight, it is not Paul Pierce. It is not Adam Pierce. It is the original Ben Pierce. Ben, welcome, brother. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful, and thanks for having me. I'm much better now that I'm on the show this evening.
There you go. Well, let's jump right into it, fellas. Today we have figured out, Elio sent me a text earlier today that Enzo Amore apparently had a video on Twitter that he was posting about.
Yep.
And I'll have the reins to Elio here just to see more about it. So what's up, Elio?
It's basically in this video he explains what happened to him because he was released by MLW. However, they advertised at the 2300 Arena that he would be there fighting for the MLW Championship when that wasn't the case. And I have a clip here that I want to play with him explaining everything.
Okay.
Seriously, wrestlers write tell-all books, okay, and bury people in them, and they still get jobs, and they're on TV. And that ain't what I'm about to do. That ain't me, yo. I'm not the one. I ain't about to talk shit, bury people. I just want to get out in front of this thing and let it be announced, okay? Like, yo, I was at the 2300 Arena when a stack of advertisements saying I was fighting for the MLW title was dropped on my table, and I sent that picture of the flyer to the owner. I'm like, what is this, bro? I'm fighting for your title? And he's like, oh yeah, sorry, it slipped through the cracks. I'm wearing too many hats here at MLW. I totally forgot that you said you never wanted to fight for the title here. Oh, you forgot, bro? I was born at night, but not last night, dude. Don't play yourself, okay? I'm not fighting for that title, but you played those fans when you put that advertisement out there for something that I never agreed upon. I'm not under contract with you. And so when you send me creative direction to bury a guy who just beat cancer, like, look, I do a lot of things on the microphone. I talk a lot of shit. Like, that ain't one of them, man. Sorry, cancer's a sensitive subject, and I didn't want to bury a guy who just beat cancer. So there was nothing left for me to do at MLW. I put over Microman on the way out the door like a certified G that I am, and I laid down 1, 2, 3. They wrote me off TV. But don't try to catch me with a headline saying that you fired me when I've never been under contract with you. I've just been a man of my word, bro. I got my balls in my word, and I don't break for nobody. Hey, dope.
Wow. All right.
So when I heard that, I'm like, okay. I mean, this is a completely different Enzo than the one we remember.
Yeah, absolutely. Just saying things like he won't, he won't put over himself with a guy that just beat cancer. That's respectable. And he didn't want to win the title in MLW. And if we remember in WWE, he was wanting to be top of the card. He was wanting to be cruiserweight champ for, forever long, just to build his ego. Yep. And that shows right there that he's changed somewhat. And I'm happy for him. So people can change. And I just respect him a lot for that. So just to not be that what he used to be. So it was kind of cool to see. Really was. All right. Now we're going to go into the fantasy matchup that we had last week. But we're doing a 2-week kind of thing since we had our vacation last week. Mm-hmm. This last week's matchup, it was Tony Diaz pick, Brodie Lee, the late great Brodie Lee, versus Will Osprey. So, guys, before I go into the results, what do you guys think? Who would win in this fantasy matchup?
Ben, you can go first.
Okay. God, that is such a tough call because it's such a contrast in styles. Like, it really depends on what kind of match it turns into. Like, if it turns into a pure 6 brawl, obviously Brodie's gonna take it, especially if we get something like the dog collar match he had. Yeah. But if it turns into something where Will Ospreay can get space and fly around, then Brodie's going to be in trouble. So I think just because of Will's unique ability unique ability to move and just predict his opponent, I'm going to have to give it to Will Ospreay, because in the past Brodie has not done well against smaller guys, if you remember, like on SmackDown TV, unless it was in like a squash match. But if it was like a legit match, usually the Bludgeon Brothers were on the losing side of things.
Yeah, for sure. Elio, who would you have in this matchup?
This would be a good match. Just like size and strength, I'm gonna have to go with Brodie Lee. I mean, he's got like the Dark Order behind him. Will Ospreay, obviously the high flying aerial tactics, but I'm gonna have to go with Brodie Lee.
All right. Yeah, for me, this would be a fun matchup. I agree with what you said, Ben. This would be totally two different styles. You got Will Ospreay with the high flying, the crazy moves in the air, and then you got Brodie, who's just a bad dude and just knock the piss right out of you. So if I had to choose, and if this would be a possible matchup, I think it'd be great. But I have to go with the late, great Brodie Lee. I just feel like he's got this edge on him that would beat the shit out of anybody that walked his path. So I just got to go with Brodie. Elio, did you do a poll on TikTok for this?
I did, and I have numbers. And we have Will Ospreay with 10%, while Brodie Lee got 90%.
Holy shit.
I was like, well, what? Well, when I saw this, I was like, what's going on? Because at first it was 100%, and then someone decided to vote for Will Ospreay, so they changed it to 90 and not 10.
Yeah, I mean, those are some big numbers there. I was like, damn, that's wow. But
that surprises me. I would have expected a more evenly fought vote.
For sure. And on our Facebook page, the winner between Tony Diaz, Brodie Lee, and Matt Novak from the UK, Will Ospreay. Will he win for a third week in a row? No. Brodie Lee got 63% of the vote, with Will Osprey getting 37%.
Wow.
Yeah, so those numbers are a little bit better than the ones on TikTok. Because it's like, whoa.
These
But
words are
hey,
weird. TikTok is a whole other world in itself.
I agree.
Yeah,
So
I'm never getting on TikTok for that very reason.
I can't blame you, brother. So next week's matchup, we got the late great Brodie Lee moving on against Elio's pick, which we will announce at halfway through the show.
Yep.
And he's got one in mind. So right after the pause, Elio will make that pick. Now, big news that we've been out for this week. WWE has finally sold.
Oh my God.
But they sold. And apparently now an event, they have announced that WWE and UFC will form a $21 billion global live sports and entertainment company. So we asked people, what does the future hold for the WWE? Guys, I think honestly, this is better than Saudi Arabia. This is better than Disney buying it.
Better. Yep.
I mean, just the fact of those two, as a whole, I don't think WWE won't change as much because of the whole UFC thing, trying to intertwine with WWE. I think they've tried to do it for a long time, just didn't know how. And this way, it won't change as much. But they are so vividly with Vince being involved in this, which I'm like, why the fuck are you wanting him involved? But that's another story going into it. But I think the future is bright. Honestly, it still is bright because it is the WWE. It's still going to be this global fucking dominant show. And I think that's never going to change due to the fact of that. And honestly, the only thing I'm kind of nervous with the merging of UFC, you're going to see a lot more people from UFC come over to WWE. I mean, you've seen other people talk about it. Just like how, Brock Lesnar, yes, he was in UFC and WWE before, but I'm saying like people like Ronda Rousey, you see people like Logan and Jake Paul, It's just, I feel like you're going to add more people from the UFC world to WWE to see if they can get in. That part I'm kind of nervous about.
Yeah.
Because this is WWE and UFC are two totally different things. I am looking forward to the future. But then again, if that's the point, I'm kind of getting nervous at the same time. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I don't know. Like you said, this is better than Saudi, better than Disney, but like I'm excited to see like what the future has in store for this company. But at the same time, it's gonna be kind of weird seeing MMA guys or UFC guys on my screen.
Yeah, for real. I agree. Ben, what's your aspects, brother?
Okay, so I have two different takes on this from two entirely different conversation points. Okay. Now, from my first thought from strictly the news perspective in terms of WWE merging with UFC to form this new company, to me, that doesn't make a lot of sense because, and I'm not talking about the money. We'll get to that in a minute. But that doesn't make a lot of sense because one has very little to do with the other. Yes, actual wrestling has a lot to do with MMA, but let's be real. The WWE is not that. And I'll never be the guy that says wrestling is fake because that's bullshit.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying they're two completely different entities. So the fact that we have now merged, and you even have Dana White, because I'm a big UFC guy myself. So I went and looked at Dana White's comments, and he's kind of looking at this like, well, we'll see how this pans out because I don't know how we're gonna mix. Yeah. So is this strictly a money deal because Vince and Ari are supposed to be friends, and when I say Ari, I mean Ari Emanuel. He's the head of Endeavor, the company that brought out WWE.
Yep.
Apparently, through doing research, they've been friends for a long time. So I'm willing to bet you that this is how their phone call went. Hey Ari, nobody else wants to work with me, but you're my boy. Can I still be involved so we can make a shit ton of money?
Bro,
Okay.
and the thing is, he doesn't need the money. He's just an old, greedy old man. And it's like, you don't need the fucking money, dude. You just made $21 billion. Retire, be done, leave it the fuck alone.
But here's the thing, right? So I have two different takes on Vince. Now I'm gonna give you the business side of it because I think that's what this podcast is, and a lot of podcasts are strictly reactionary, and they're like, "Fuck this, fuck that, blah blah blah."
Mm-hmm.
But from a strictly business perspective, Vince McMahon is the most evil, maniacal, genius motherfucker I've ever seen. This guy, you have to admit, this guy is more, he's got more lives than Michael Myers.
Hey, yeah.
It's just, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, I agree. I mean, what he's done is unheard of. Probably won't ever happen again.
Because like even and let's be real, I think the reason why none of this went to the extent of Vince getting convicted of something is because obviously we know the victim or the women signed NDAs. Yep. And to me, when someone signs an NDA, that indicates at least a piece of being okay with it. Right. Yeah. Because they get money out of it. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm not condoning his behavior. I think it's disgusting, and if it was anybody else, he'd be in jail. Yeah. But I agree. It's just like this guy's Teflon. But strictly from a business perspective, this guy struck gold, and it's just a matter of what kind of partnership is it going to be. That's what we have to look for, because I'm one of those guys. I don't give a fuck about the money and the backstage details. Right. I want to see how it impacts the product. So going back to what Elio was saying about, okay, are we going to get more UFC people? Is WWE going to have a more UFC type presentation? That's the kind of stuff I'm interested in seeing.
I guess we'll see. Yeah. But yeah, I guess we'll see. And the thing was that I saw today too, and I got something to put in the book, fellas. I really do. When we saw Vince McMahon on the news this past week 2 weeks ago, talking about the WWE sale, what the fuck was on his face?
It looked like a caterpillar. It looked like a caterpillar crawled across his face and died.
What the fuck? Like, I don't even understand what that even was. So Elio and I were talking before the show, and he's got a perfect name to put in the book for Mr. McMahon. So Elio, give that out, brother.
It's not Vince McMahon. It is Porn Stash McMahon.
There you go.
And for me, he looks like Hitler's grandfather. I swear to God, that's exactly what he looks like.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I don't understand, man.
Who told him that looks good?
I know. So next week we're gonna have you guys here on it. We're gonna post up. What do you think of Mr. McMahon's mustache? And we'll just see what the fans say, because I just think it's gonna be funny. So we'll just see. But now, I'll do the honors. Porn Stash McMahon, you just made the book. Oh, there we go. It's in there. It's right there. I just wrote it down.
Very good.
All right. Next, we're going into our other Facebook post. Thoughts on Xyon Quinn, NXT guy. So, guys, what are your thoughts on him?
I like Xyon Quinn. I just don't know what they're doing with him. The problem with him is he has no direction. He has no storyline. They just have him wandering aimlessly in NXT, and I don't understand. Like, he's got the look, he's got the strength. He just doesn't have any direction.
I agree 100%, 10% with you, man. Ben, your thoughts?
So I'm gonna third both of you with everything that you guys just mentioned, but here's the thing that I wonder about Xyon Quinn, because on paper he has all the tally marks in his favor, right? But is he not progressing enough to be in a prominent position? Is he similar to a Gable Steveson situation? Because it doesn't make sense. I mean, this guy is all over social media. He's got the sexy girlfriend. He's got, the cars, the whatever the fuck, good for him. But I don't know what he brings to NXT that makes him different. And granted, this is coming from a guy that doesn't watch NXT on a weekly basis. So I'll just tell you guys that up front. But I have seen enough of Xyon Quinn, and ultimately the one word that comes to mind with Xyon Quinn is just, I'm divided on him. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, my thoughts, I agree with you guys. I feel like this guy has potential if he's shown. Lately, he hasn't been doing much in NXT. He's got the look. I think he's got the talent. He's got the fucking nickname that he's had for years, and I wish WWE would pursue this. The Samoan Ghost.
Right.
Like this, it's a badass nickname. This guy could be a monster. I really do believe that if they just gave him the shot. But
I have a question. So NXT is supposed to be developmental, right?
Yeah.
Then what does that make NXT level up?
That's true.
Because last time I saw him, he was on NXT level up, and he lost to Eddie Thorpe.
Oh, I know, right? I don't get it. Like, Zion's been there for years, and now he's losing to up-and-comers.
He's like the male version of Aaliyah.
Oh, damn!
Wow.
In terms of how he's being booked, and in terms of the length of time that he's been there, that's the comparison that I draw.
Yeah. Well, let's see what the fans have to say. Christopher Cassie says he's cool. All right. Sean Parker said he good. I want to see him in a tag team with Bronson Reed. That would be fire, in my opinion. I kind of agree. I can see that. So, sort of.
It would be interesting.
It would be interesting. Yeah. Robert Taylor said this is how Roman would look if he actually bothered to go to the gym. What the fuck?
What?
Roman is fucking fit, bro. Who are you fucking watching?
Yeah, Roman is.
Do you watch the product?
I guess.
I really don't get where he's coming from with that.
I mean, I don't.
Roman is the embodiment of fitness. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Exactly. Herman Siegel? I'm sorry if I fucked up your name, brother, but he posted, he's still there, question mark? So I'm like...
See, that's what I'm talking about. Like even I was wondering where he was, because we don't see him on TV.
Yeah, exactly. Stuart Murrin says, dude looks like a Dijak / Roman Reigns Wish mashup. Okay, sure.
Well, I can see that.
Yeah. Debbie Gardner-Prout says he's really good. Okay. Damian Anderson said not a bad wrestler. Maddie and JD Sailor said he was a great footy player. What? Footy? You playing footy with Xyon?
You're playing footsie under the table? I think his girlfriend might have a problem with that.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, and I'll just do this last one. Dakota Call says he's an amazing athlete, definitely has a bright future. Yeah, that's a good way to end out. So I'm sorry I didn't get to everybody's. I'm glad you commented, but we got a long show to do. Sorry. That's all I got to say on that. Next Facebook post we have is Gunther the next Roman Reigns, and meaning his title reign. He's dominant. He really is.
I did a poll on this one.
Oh, did you? What was the results of the poll? We'll just go with that first.
So 47% said no, and 53% said yes.
Oh, so pretty close there.
Yep.
So, and yeah, I mean, I can see why, because Gunther's reign right now as the Intercontinental Champion, he's dominant. He really is. He's going through guys. He's looking unstoppable. He's looking like a monster. Look what Roman's doing. Like, yes, Roman has the backup of the bloodline, that sort of thing, but Gunther could be that next dude that just comes up and just dominates WWE when Roman, either goes away for a while or retires. They can put up Gunther as this beast. So I can see where that comparison would be. But I say yes. He could be the next line in the biggest guy in the company. I really feel like it because Gunther is on a different level. I really do. Elio, your thoughts?
I'm going to say yes because, the dominant champion that he's been, he's Intercontinental champion. He's been the longest NXT UK champion. So I can see him being next Roman Reigns.
Yeah. All right. Ben, what do you think?
I'm kind of torn on this because I think Roman presents something that Walter can't, and and Walter has something that Roman doesn't have. But if we're talking about it in the context of big name star power or who could possibly beat Roman, I would say yes.
Okay.
The issue that I would have with this whole thing is how are you going to maneuver this encounter, so to speak, because we need a build to it that is much better than the Cody Rhodes build. Mm-hmm. Quite frankly, that sucked. It did. Am I wrong?
No. Yeah.
6 weeks is not enough to convince me that Cody is gonna end a 900+ day reign. But the thing is, with the story that's being told with Roman and with Gunther, neither one of them can lose to the other right now. So it's almost like Walter's gonna have to catch Roman on the come down, where it's like the young lion versus the old one. But yeah. I think Walter is around the same age as Roman, so it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But if Gunther does catch him on the come down, does that really help Gunther? So this is going to be an interesting way to do it, and quite frankly, I don't see it happening for a while because we have so much to wrap up in terms of the bloodline. Is Jay going to be the next in line for the title shot?
Right. Yeah.
So there's too much in the air to answer that question. Does he have the potential to be? Absolutely. Should he be? I think so.
Yeah.
Actually, Roman Reigns is slightly older, like 2 years older than
really?
yeah. Gunther is 35 and Reigns 37.
Wow. So I mean, close in age, but still,
Yeah.
Gunther's But I guess we'll see for sure. We'll go to the fans now. Josh Sanders said, I don't think he's the next Roman Reigns because he is dominant in his own way. But if you're meaning the top guy in WWE, then yes, easily see him as a master heel champion. I agree 100% with you, Josh. I do.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
That was very well put.
Very. Next, we got Bruce Knopp. Sorry if I fucked that up. Yes, of course. That's what he said. Bob Reynolds says, yes, 2 guys that don't need the belts. Okay. Are you talking about Roman there? But why do they not need the belts?
Right.
I think they're doing pretty damn good.
I think what he's saying is that they're gonna be in a prominent position and be dominant whether or not they have championships on them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kevin Chong, winner take all champion, IC champion versus WWE Undisputed Universal Champion. Bud, that's not what we were saying.
Right.
That wasn't at all what we were. People. I'll tell you.
Leave the fantasy booking to me.
Exactly. There you go.
See, people, you've pissed Clay off.
Yeah. I've had a long day. Why the fuck? Oh my god. Anyway, Bob Eddy says he's a great striker. I think if he is going to be the next Reigns, they will have to add a first or second name to him, in my opinion. Okay. Sure. I don't know why the name fucking matters, but
right.
The fuck?
And then Bob Reynolds commented again, and he said, "Stumble bum, yes."
What?
Okay. I'm done.
Somebody's gonna screen these things before they get read on the air because some of these comments should be put in the book.
See what the fuck we have to deal with, Josh? Or, gosh, Ben.
I mean,
you see, you got the $50 man all flustered, flabbergasted with these comments.
Okay, well,
I know, right?
Seriously, I'm gonna go on a rant a little bit later, so I'm trying to conserve my energy, and plus, I'm very tired. On top of that, and I'm trying to keep the energy up because I love doing these guest spots, and I want to do the best I can for you. But
there you go.
Somebody has got to screen these people because it's like, what? I mean, I know I'm the adjunct professor of wrestling POV, but it's just something.
We love our fans, but oh my gosh, some of them, I'll tell you what, that's the nicest way I'm going to put it right now. So, our next Facebook post. This one was interesting. Who would win in a promo battle between John Cena and MJF? Now, we've done this post before. Who would win an MJ battle a promo battle between MJF and The Miz?
Yep.
Now, since Cena has returned and buried Theory, sort of, in a way, but I know Theory still won, blah, whatever. Promo-wise, John Cena buried him, all right? You don't have to remind me that I fucked up in the pay-per-view points game. That's not what I'm saying. So... who would win in this promo battle, guys, between MJF or John Cena?
Again, okay, John Cena has his own style with when he first showed up in WWE with his freestyle rapping promos. But MJF, he digs up dirt on like whoever he's in a program with.
Yes, he does.
It's like I have to go with MJF.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, Elio, I would have to disagree with you, man. Do you remember John Cena back in the day when he was doing the rap gimmick? Bro, he would say some shady shit back in that day, too. But, would that work in today's WWE? Maybe not. But at the same time, I feel like John would just come off just like that. And the way MJF, yes, he would do a good promo on John. Probably bring in Nikki Bella. Probably bring in, times that he's lost titles, shit like that. I'm sure MJF would stoop to that level, but I think John Cena would have the perfect counter in coming back to where everything MJF says. So I have to go with John Cena on this one because he's just that damn good. He can go away for a long time, come back, and he's just the same Cena. He's proven it time and time again that he's on that level of mastering at promos. So I'm going to have to go with Cena. I think he would bury MJF. MJF still got a lot to prove, in my opinion. So, Ben, what do you think?
Well, first of all, I'm a huge MJF fan, but I'm gonna have to shock my my fellow co-host Elio. He's probably gonna fall off his chair. But I'm gonna have to go with Cena on this one.
Okay.
Because Cena just has like a deeper well of stuff that he can go into, and there's just such a vast experience edge, and like you said, Clay, it's just right off the top. And like even though MJF's promos are very entertaining and he did a really good job with Sting. Mm-hmm. To me, they do come off as if they were rehearsed.
I agree there.
So to me, John Cena is very good at ad-libbing, or would be. So I would have to go with Cena on this one.
All right. We're going to go to the fans. Gavin Peters says John Cena. Patrick Ruth says Cena. Let's get some more load here. Come on now. All right. Jalen Bangs said John Cena. It's not even close. Herman Siegel. I fucked up your name again. I'm sorry, man. Cena. Hate to say it, but he would rip MJF in a promo back. Okay. Debbie Gardner-Pruitt says Cena. Alan Dean says Cena. So it looks like the majority is going with John. But this still would be a really good promo, and I hope one of these days that would happen because it'd be very interesting. So, all right. I think that's it for the posts. We got hot tag news coming up after the wrestling news. So let's jump right into it. Into the wrestling news from around the world. Last week, unfortunate news, we had Bushwhacker Butch Miller passed away at the age of 78. When I saw this, that was sad.
Oh, yeah, that was sad.
I'm like, come on. Not one of the Bushwhackers, but it was put out. Wasn't it Bushwhacker Luke that put that out that he passed?
Yeah.
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah.
So, rest in peace to Bushwhacker Butch Miller. So, and prayers go out to him and his family. Former WWE announcer Nigel McGuinness has joined AEW. That we saw this past week or last week, whichever one it was. And also, Jay White coming to AEW. I feel like he made his decision.
Thank God. Thank God. I can I just say something right off the bat here?
Go for it. Sure.
I don't, and I'm not gonna hijack it. Trust me. But but I feel like if we were having this conversation just a few weeks ago, I would have an entirely different take, and I would be saying maybe Jay White jumped the gun here a little bit in terms of committing to AEW, right? Okay. Because I think he would have had a very good, if not fantastic, run under Triple H. Yeah. But with all of the recent changes, and we're not going to go into that again, but with all the recent changes that have taken place, I think AEW really fits for Jay White right now. And he's got the Bullet Club there, and AEW really does fit better with the Japanese style. Mm-hmm. I'm not just saying that because they have partnerships with Japanese promotions. I feel like the AEW product leans more towards the Japanese style of wrestling. So I feel like that's going to help. And quite frankly, AEW needs top names and WWE doesn't.
Yeah.
So I feel like this was the perfect move for Jay White right now.
All right. Sad news, in my opinion, this week. Logan Paul's contract has been renewed by the WWE. He has also said this past week that he wants to win a title in WWE.
No, why? See, that's what I'm talking about.
No.
Thank you, because if one of you guys said that he should, I'm going to rip your ass apart. Because, no, this kid or guy, I'll tell you what, he doesn't need to win a fucking title to build out his goddamn ego. No. Fuck that. I'm so tired of Logan Paul. I don't want to fucking hear it. No more. Look,
in the ring for the matches that he's had, I'll give him credit. I don't know who he's worked with. But the athletic ability, Clay, I don't know if you've heard my take on Logan Paul, but in case you haven't, here it is. Enjoy it. Have a snack. Get some popcorn. When I heard Logan Paul was signing with WWE, I was like, who the fuck is Logan Paul? Because it's like, now granted I'm pushing 35, so, I'm beyond all this social media crap and TikTok crap. It's just, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And the thing is, yes, he did come in and have a really good match, and he's shown out very well in ring.
Sure. I'll give him his flowers for that. I really will.
But I don't think that this guy is a good look for WWE at all.
Nope.
Because
I don't either.
What they claim to represent, okay? And we saw examples of that at WrestleMania with the young child who was dancing with Bianca, who lost her mother. Mm-hmm. That kind of stuff is beautiful, and that's what WWE tries to present itself as, right? Mm-hmm. Logan Paul is not that at all.
Yeah.
Now, I've never met this man. I've never had an interaction with him. I don't give a fuck. I don't know what he's famous for, and I don't care to know.
Right.
But the thing is, what I have heard about him, the fact that The Rock cut business ties with him, I feel like this is going to backfire on WWE because some dark shit is gonna be dug up on Logan Paul. Plus, he comes off like a douche.
He is.
He just I get Charlotte Flair vibes from Logan Paul. Like I really do think that Logan Paul is a douche, and Charlotte Flair comes off wrong to me in real life. I get the same kind of vibe.
I mean, character-wise, Charlotte, like, as a heel, yeah, I can see that. But, I don't know. She seems like a really nice woman. So, maybe. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I've never met her. So, I don't know. I've never met Logan Paul either. But just how he fucking acts is like, dude, you're not that big of a star, in my opinion. You aren't.
You want to be in main events and stuff, like sit down. Roman was absolutely correct in his comments at the event that shall not be named press conference.
Yeah.
When he said you can be on the card, but you'll never be up here. And like, if Logan Paul ever main events a pay-per-view or a WrestleMania, I'm going to knock myself out.
I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see. Speaking of another return, there is rumors and saying that AEW is planning to return CM Punk to the company.
Okay, all right. Elio, I'm gonna let you take this first because when I go off, it's gonna be interesting segment of the show. So I'll let you gentlemen go first.
No one wants CM Punk back. I mean, he's talked about a couple of different scenarios, working with the Elite or working in a tag match with FTR against Elite. No one wants to see CM Punk back. Wherever he goes, this guy causes trouble. And now, at the end of May, that's the last weekend of May, I believe it's going to be a crazy weekend because there's going to be like 3 pay-per-views.
Yep.
We have Night of Champions, NXT Battleground, and AEW Double or Nothing. So what, is he going to come back at Double or Nothing? Is he going to come back at All In? We don't want him back. We don't want him back. Stay away.
I agree with you, man. I feel like with Punk's actions, what he has said about other wrestlers, I feel like he's toxic in a locker room.
Yep.
And nobody needs that. If Punk does get this opportunity again in the summer of Punk, I'm not mad about it. I'm okay with it because you know what? People, fuck up all the time. And I believe in second chances. I will always say that. But I didn't want to say this, but until I watched AEW, okay? If you're going to give CM Punk a chance, that's great and all. But I feel like everybody deserves a chance, especially if Jeff Hardy returns to AEW and gets his chance back.
Exactly.
So it's
Thank you.
If Jeff, is able to come back, why not Punk? That's that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Do I preferably want to see CM Punk? No. But I feel like everybody needs a second chance. So I guess we will see. If he fucks up again, then that's on him. So I guess we'll see. Ben, what are your thoughts, man?
Okay, all right. You gentlemen ready? You might want to strap in here. I have been the biggest CM Punk guy from the beginning. Everything about this guy I have connected with, and there's a lot of common ground there with the straight edge stuff, and that's me. And on TV, he was fucking awesome with the promos and all that other stuff. But when it comes to this situation, from a business perspective, how do you bring that man back into that locker room?
I agree.
He whether he was right or wrong in his comments, whether he was factually correct or not, the fact that he went publicly on a pay-per-view, for Christ's sake, after just winning your world fucking championship with the owner sitting right there and just roasted the fuck out of everybody like s'mores on a campfire. How do you bring this guy back?
I agree 100%.
I mean, to me, guys, his whatever that was is more egregious than Bret Hart and Vince's situation.
Yeah.
Because at least there was existing beef between the two of them, and Bret had legit reasons to be pissed at Vince.
Yeah.
And Vince might have legit reasons for doing what he did, but it's just you cannot, as a business and as a human being, you cannot go on a public forum and roast everybody and then say, "Oh, I want my job back.
Yep.
I want you to pay me." Like, And
no, it's all about professionalism. It really is. At the end of the day, that's all it is. And you know what? Punk's 44, 45 years old. He should know it by now. And that's the bottom line.
And this is not this. I can see the emails coming in to Tony on his missing laptop. As soon as he gets back, he's gonna get this email. Well, what about what you said about Sasha and Naomi, or somebody like that?
Yeah.
Completely different scenarios. That was a little bit different, but yes, the argument could be made that they were unprofessional too, strictly in terms of their actions and leaving people high and dry, not their motivations. But but getting back to Punk, it's just I don't see it.
Yeah.
And at 45, 46 years old, let's be honest, from a wrestling perspective, and this part isn't his fault, but from a wrestling perspective, CM Punk is not the CM Punk that he was in 2012 through 2014.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to be able to have the matches with the top guys in AEW that I feel that they need to have to propel themselves to the next level. Yes, you might have the name value to bring attention to AEW, but I think we've seen that it's the wrong kind of attention being brought to AEW with CM Punk attached to it.
I agree, because even when he was in AEW, most of the time he was hurt, and that sucks. But age is undefeated, guys. So I guess we will see. WWE Night of Champions will replace the King and Queen of the Ring. Why? Why? That's just my thing.
I could cry. I could just weep.
Right? Seriously. Why?
Because we had something good, and then King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring was kind of cool. It's always been cool. And now it's like, we'll replace the Night of Champions. Like, okay, well.
This is a Vince decision.
Oh, I'm sure.
Well, yeah. Absolutely. And I don't know about you guys. I don't know what you do about the Saudi shows, but over on our show, Elio and I, we don't cover these Saudi shows because they're fucking disgusting.
We don't either. Nope.
Well, says salutations. Because it's just nobody gives a fuck.
Nope.
But why would you announce that mere weeks before the event?
That's true.
How does that work?
I agree. I don't know. I guess we'll see with that too. And my last bit of news, and this is kind of hard for me to talk about. Eddie and Vicky Guerrero's daughter, Sherilyn Guerrero, has accused her stepdad of sexually assaulting her at a family event. Vicky denies the action and is currently taking her daughter to court.
Okay, look, I want to be very, very careful with the commentary that I put on this particular subject, because of the fact that if we put too much credence on either side, we're gonna look like assholes to somebody. But the bottom line is, that family has so many issues that we're not even aware of.
Yeah.
There's so many dynamics and stuff that I'm sure have nothing to do with Eddie, and a lot of it probably does, and whatever. But I think the biggest issue, aside from the fact that Vicky seemed to admit that her husband at least acknowledged some wrongdoing, aside from that, it's just the fact that she posted that shit on social media.
Exactly.
I can't say something against. I think what she posted is disgusting, and if I were a parent, I could never dream of saying that shit about my kid, regardless of the situation. But then again, I do know how, fucked up family dynamics can be. And then there are two sides to every story, regardless of whether we agree with what Vicky did or not. And like I said, I think it's disgusting.
Right.
But the bottom line is she's right. There's two sides to every story, and I think we learned our lesson with the speaking out movement, that it's best not to jump the gun, and especially when you are dealing with the subject of sexual abuse. We got to be really careful here, and actually let the legal system take care of it.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, Vicky, her AEW contract expired, and she's dealing with this stuff. And Sherilyn doesn't talk to Shaw, but wants to, and it seems like just a bunch of family drama, and I hate that, because I have so much respect for the Guerreros as a whole. I guess we'll see more when stuff comes out, and hopefully, the sick fucker didn't do it. Who knows? And like you said, Ben, two sides to every story. So who really knows at this point? But I guess we'll see. We do not have. That's all that I have for the news. Rumors we do not have this week. Tony will be back next week with rumors. But I'm going to lead to Elio to say some pay-per-views that are coming up. So Elio, take it away.
So we have May 27th is the newly announced Night of Champions, which will replace the King and Queen of the Ring, which I still don't know why. And May 28th is NXT Battleground, as well as AEW Double or Nothing. That's our first. Like AEW and WWE running pay-per-views on the same date.
Yeah.
No. They've done that at least once before.
Have they?
Okay.
I know that. I know that for a fact. They've done that at least once.
Okay.
All right.
And then, all right. Is that all you got?
That's all I got.
All right. Injuries. I have one. And guys, if you saw this, Dante Martin potentially broke his leg during the ROH Super Card of Honor show.
So I watched that pay-per-view.
Oh, my God. He went up for a spot on the ladder, came down, fucking leg just went right. I'm like, no. And I'm a huge fan of Dante Martin. And, of course, he was rushed to the hospital. It isn't confirmed quite yet if it's a broken leg, but I'm like, his leg went in a whole nother direction. I don't see how it didn't break.
Yeah, it's it was one of the most graphic things that I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot of shit. And it was actually compared to Joe Theismann, and I can see why. And I've also seen wrestling friends of mine who are actual in-ring performers get hurt right in front of me, that was one of the most graphic things I ever seen. So hopefully he's okay.
Yes.
But the tag team of Top Flight is a problem, because they're like cursed. Those poor guys are absolutely cursed.
Seems like it. It sucks.
Between Darius's injuries, his car accident, and now this, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah. But that's all that I have for injuries. Let's go right into the hot tag news this week. This week is LA Knight main event material. And you know what? I'll start out. Here's my thing with LA Knight. Okay. I think he's got the look. I think he's got the promo skills. I think he's got the wrestling skills to be a main eventer. Do I think right now, or do I see him as a main eventer? No, I don't. One reason why. He loses almost every time he's in a match. No matter how good he does on the ring, on the mic, how he does in the ring, he's losing to guys like Bray Wyatt, which that's not a bad thing. I'm just saying he's losing guys like Xavier Woods tonight. If he's going to be this top main eventer, he's got to quit the losing. And I know that's not all on him. I understand that completely, so hear me out. But LA Knight needs a bigger push than what he's getting. And I think If it wasn't for fucking Vince's involvement, I think he would have gotten it by now. Maybe they're doing a slow build, maybe this, that. But right now, I don't see LA Knight as a main eventer. Do I see him as Intercontinental Champion, United States Champion, etc.? Yes, I do. But right now, I do not see him as a main event talent. I'm sorry. I like him. I like the whole deal. I think he's awesome. I do. I love LA Knight. But right now, I don't think he's main event material. I think he needs more time. So I guess we'll see with that too. Ben, your thoughts?
Well, this one hurts a little bit because he's a hometown boy for me.
Okay.
He's from my neck of the woods, and you know, I've always been a fan of this guy, no matter what you know, angle or moniker he's run out with, except the Max Dupree. I didn't like that. But,
I don't think anybody liked that.
I don't think he even liked that.
No.
No, but the thing is, skill wise, you're absolutely right, Clay. I think he does. Promo wise, yes. But in terms of presentation and being taken seriously, no. Absolutely not. And the other thing, and this has always been my issue with LA Knight or Eli Drake, he reminds me too much of The Rock. Anyway, with his promos and the way he speaks, like his cadence. You know, and same problem with like Ricky Starks. You know, but the other thing too is, like, you know, let's be honest, LA Knight doesn't have the kind of time that Ricky Starks does, or somebody else would, to evolve and change. Like, LA Knight is in his 40s now.
Yeah.
Like so if he's going to be in a top position, which quite frankly I don't see right now, they got to move their ass on this kid or this person, and I don't see that happening.
Okay. All right. Elio, your thoughts?
So he's got the whole presentation, the mic skills, the look, but right now I don't see that. I mean, he's lost to Bray Wyatt, he's lost to Xavier Woods. He needs to build up like his win streak. I think he needs a little more time. However, that being said, I just read something here about the spoiler on a top candidate to win the Money in the Bank, and they've discussed LA Knight potentially winning the Money in the Bank ladder match.
I mean, you know what? I'm fine with that.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be a good momentum builder for him. It really would.
Then build him up from there. I say build him up from there. Have him win the Money in the Bank. He's got a year to cash it in. That gives him plenty of time.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I like that idea. Let's go to the fans. Josh Sanders says, we're answering with his catchphrase word right now. If that doesn't tell you, I don't know what does. So, Josh is there. So cool. Julian Vasquez says yes. Sean B. Casera, I'm sorry, bud. Casera says yeah. John Simmons says, oh, hell yeah. Anthony Sharp says yeah. Tyler Streeter says yeah. There's a lot of yeahs, obviously, and clearly. So, I mean, that's yeah. I mean, that's just all this is. Bob Reynolds says mid-Carter. Okay. I kind of agree somewhat for right now. I don't want people calling me and bitching me and saying, oh, I don't like LA Knight. No, it's not that I don't like LA Knight. It's the fact that right now he's not showing a main event talent. Sorry. That's just me. Yeah, a bunch of yeahs. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not going to name everybody because you guys are answering the same thing. Calvin Kahn says, no, he's full of gimmicks thanks to WWE Creative. I wouldn't say he's full of gimmicks.
He just does one that he's And he's using Stone Cold and The Rock like as inspiration for his character, but I see making it as his own.
Right, and he had that Max Dupree, and that went to the shit.
And he had the same character in Impact Wrestling as well.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so
Over there he had Eli Drake's The Facts of Life with his dummy button he had, where he would name the dummy of the week.
Yeah. And then there's some others that wrote a book. I'm not doing that. Sorry, I don't read. But yeah, Christopher Chadwell says never was, never will be. Okay, sure. Mike Johnson said he was in TNA. I don't see why he can't be in WWE. Okay, sure.
Well,
was he in main event in TNA?
I'm going to tell you something. Do you remember when I booked the Intercontinental Championship match for WrestleMania and I came up with that scenario of the Rising, that faction? I did that for a reason because in Impact, he was part of a faction called the Rising, which had him, Drew Galloway, and Tonga Loa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got you now. Yeah, and we still got a lot of Yaz on here. One more. Says Logan Price says no, but he could definitely be a solid mid-card guy. Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, and we had a lot of people saying yes. I mean, LA Knight obviously has a role going right now, so I guess we'll see. Like Elio said, let's see if he wins Money in the Bank, and then skyrocket from there. So I guess we'll see. Guys, let's take a pause, and then when we come back, we got fantasy matchup for next week. Elio will make his pick to go against Tony Diaz. And the A show, we got, or this week in wrestling, we got the Battle of the A shows for 2 weeks, and we got the book. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
This is the hardcore legend Mick Foley, and you are listening to the Wrestling POV podcast.
Hey guys, this is Kevin Owens. Make sure to listen to the Wrestling POV podcast. Take it easy, guys. Maybe I'll end up on your show one day. Who knows? But if I do, I'll probably end up taking the whole thing over, and then it won't really be your show anymore. So maybe it's not a good idea. Who knows? We'll see how that works out.
All right, and we are back, and you can find Wrestling POV every Saturday on iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, Pandora, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, and Amazon Music. And now it's time to get to This Week in Wrestling. But before that, we are going to reveal the next fantasy match. And it will be Tony's pick, Brodie Lee, going up against my pick, Edge.
Oh,
Ooh, that's going to be a good one.
I think I know who Josh Sanders is going to pick for this one.
Yeah, even I know from looking at the comments from the WrestleMania points game.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, next week we got the fantasy matchup of Brodie Lee versus Edge. This is going to be an interesting matchup. So let's get into Monday Night Raw for this week. Raw was a really good show, guys. I really thought. Just with the whole thing, with what happened and stuff like that. So I'll just start off with high points. Gave it to Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch versus Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. This was a good match. Turned out as it happened, like Lita getting hurt by, assuming Trish. I mean, obviously, what had happened. The match itself was good. Chemistry was good. I didn't think the heel turn was going to turn with Trish Stratus right here. I really didn't. Because at the start of the show, it was like, well, maybe this will happen in a pay-per-view, blah, blah, blah. But then once Lita got hurt, I kind of felt the thing coming. Raquel and Liv winning the tag team titles, and then Trish turns on Becky. This was cool. And I really enjoyed it. Bobby Lashley versus Bronson Reed. Loved this match. I really did. These guys beat the shit out of each other. Going all out with it. And a good way to end it with a count-out brawl. I loved it. Mm-hmm. It was a good way for both guys not to lose here, to make them both look good. So I really enjoyed it. Usos versus Alpha Academy. Gave it another high point. This was a good tag team match for Raw. Alpha Academy, as I've said before, is so underrated. They really are. And I hope this tag team doesn't break up because I feel like they're still good as a team. I love the duo. And you can't go wrong with the Usos. You can't. Even them getting the win, it was still great. And the main event, Solo Sikoa versus Kevin Owens. I gave that another high point. Good match. Solo looking dominant in this, beating Kevin Owens, which that obviously surprised me with that. Then Riddle and Sammy helping, got all that, and that was another high point for me. I had no low points for this Raw. I thought this was a really solid show. I couldn't figure out one low point, so that was just me. Elio, let's go to you.
I basically have the same high points as you. I have Rey Mysterio and Finn Balor. However, the promo before that, if you notice, Dominic messed up his lines.
Oh shit! How could I forget about that?
Oh man,
Yes.
they sent Dominic out there on his own because if he had Judgment Day behind him, I don't think he would have been as nervous.
Yeah. I think that was the thing. It's like keep your name out of your mouth.
I'm like, wait, what?
I'm like, oh, Dom.
Well, first of all, that line is so overplayed. It's like nobody cares. Nobody gives it.
Yeah.
It was just kind of a stupid line anyway, and it was compounded.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm saying, like, I think if he had Judgment Day out there with him, I don't think that would have happened.
I think you're right.
But aside from that, I can't think of one low point. It's all high points.
All right, Ben, your thoughts.
Okay, well, I got some low points, but let me start with high points. Finn Balor versus who was it?
Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, Finn Balor versus Rey, and then all the Alpha Academy match versus the Usos, and Lashley and Bronson Reed. That was awesome. And on top of that, big shout out to Bronson Reed for doing that match because he was still sick with the flu.
Oh, he was. I didn't know that.
Hopefully.
Oh, that's right. I read that. Yeah, that he was sick during that match.
Wow.
Hopefully he didn't give it to Bobby Lashley. I mean, I wouldn't have put him out there having the flu. But that was a little interesting. But and then I can't really say I had other high points, but low points wise, I'm actually gonna have to give the women's tag match a low point. I really don't understand what they're doing, honestly, because I thought that the first title change would have taken place at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. So I, you know what I mean? Like I thought Lita and Becky would win them at Mania, and then they would lose them after a little bit longer, not a long reign, but a little bit longer than this. But in terms of this match, I just thought it was sloppy as hell.
Really?
I really did. I did not like that match at all.
Okay.
And the attack after the match came off really bad.
Yeah.
Because one, it was, you could see it coming 2 miles away, number one. And number two, Trish missed with the punch. It wasn't impactful at all. So they kind of had to make up for that to begin with. But it's just like no. I'm not feeling that. And then what is going on with this Piper Niven situation? I didn't like that match either. It's just like why? Like why are we doing this?
But I'm glad Io Sky won.
I am too.
Yeah,
I really am.
Well, yes, and I was happy for Io, but to me, with those ladies and where they're at right now, like that match is not a good spotlight match. Just because of the way that they're being booked. Like I don't know I don't know what the hell's going on with the women's division, but it's just like, oh shit, this is not a good situation at all. And then the other low point that I had, can we please stop with this Omos shit?
He didn't have a match at least. You know?
But Clay, friend. I think I can call you a friend at this point, right?
I think so, yeah.
So help me understand, what are they doing with this?
I mean, I don't like Omos either. I really don't. But he didn't have a match, so I can't really, you know.
But why is he on my screen? I don't understand it. Like, okay,
Cuz pal, he's 7'4", 416 pounds. Vince McMahon impression.
I don't give a shit. Like, yes, you could palm my face like a basketball. Good for you. But it's just, the guy brings absolutely nothing to the table. Well, and look, if he was, let me just say this, right? So I'm not trying to be an asshole. Like, if I felt that this guy was improving in the ring and starting to evolve and giving us some sort of character, I would feel different.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why this guy is given time, and let alone, you know, given a match with Brock Lesnar, and the fact that they're involving, you know, the Brock Lesnar versus Omos match in with the feud with Cody. I'm like, stop it.
Right.
That is such bullshit. Stop.
They should have been.
Don't do that.
They should have been billing him from Raw Underground instead of using him as security.
I agree. Is that all you have, Ben?
Yes.
All right. Overall, I gave Raw a B+ this week. Elio, what'd you give it?
I too give it a B+. A lot better than the week before.
Oh my God!
It was.
The week before was an absolute disaster.
Yep.
Woof. It was. Ben, what'd you give it?
I'm right there with you guys. I'm gonna give it a B+.
All right. Now we'll go to NXT with Ben. Ben, take it away.
Okay, so this is kind of funny because, like I said earlier, I typically don't watch NXT, but I did for the express purpose of tonight's podcast, because I know I was coming on. But thank God the wrestling was better than what we typically get. Ladies and gentlemen, I am usually so zoned out of NXT because it's emotionally painful for me to watch this when I remember how good NXT Black and Gold was. I mean, I'm an NXT Black and Gold guy, so this is just awful.
It's better than 2.0. Come on.
Well, yes.
There you go.
But how high was 2.0 setting the bar? You know,
I got you.
But anyway, so just to give you guys a little bit of a heads up and a little bit of a laugh ahead of time. So high point number one definitely has to be Tiffany Stratton versus Sol Roca, and no, not just for the obvious reasons. I thought that's part of it, folks. But I thought the wrestling was very, very good in this situation, and I definitely want to see more of these ladies for sure. Yeah,
you do.
Well, Well, I don't know if Elio told you, but we have a gimmick over on the PNC Progression Wrestling podcast, which is our second show.
Right.
And it's Team Yummy, and we've decided that Tiffany Stratton is the captain of that team.
There you go. I can't disagree there.
She's lovely. But the other high point that I had was the Fatal 4-Way. That was fantastic stuff. Low points, I'll give it to the women's tag team title match. And also, I hate to do this because I love Dragunov, and I know that it was a squash match. But why? Someone explain this to me. Why is he in the ring with Von Wagner?
Exactly.
I don't get that. Somebody has to explain that to me.
We even said on the last show, Von Wagner is not improving. We tune in every week to see how he develops. It doesn't look like he's even trying.
I agree.
No, absolutely not. And the only other low point that I had, honestly, was Cora James promo. I didn't like that at all.
Okay.
What did you guys have for highs and lows for NXT?
Go ahead, Elio.
All right, so I had the Fatal 4-Way. I had the Tiffany Stratton, Sol Ruca. Like I said, I've been watching I watch NXT Level Up once in a while, and then Sol Ruca has been on there, and she's improving.
Yep.
I gave another high point. I did give it to the Core J segment because Lyra Valkyria coming out there and putting Core Jade on notice, like that if she even goes near the championship. And then after that, the attack. So I gave that a high point. Low point, I'm done with Braun Breaker. And he interrupted the Chase U segment. Dia Hill was okay, but like the whole segment itself and Braun Breaker just ruining everything was terrible.
Yeah, yep. Why isn't he on the main roster? Like he should have nothing to do with NXT now that he dropped the belt to Carmelo Hayes, which was awesome, by the way. That match was awesome, but it was just, why is he still there?
I agree. Exactly.
And that Von Wagner, Ilya Dragunov was a low point, but also that Javier Bernal match, because I saw this guy on the first episode of NXT Level Up. From there, I just don't get this whole character.
I don't either, man. Big body Javi. What the fuck is this?
I would have given the opening segment a high point, if not for Trick Williams. Stop repeating everything Carmelo was saying.
Thank you. Preach.
And can I just say something about Trick Williams?
Absolutely.
I understand where they're going or what they're trying to accomplish with Trick.
I don't.
Can you explain, please? Seriously, we don't get it.
Well, the impression that I get is like Trick Williams is supposed to be Flavor Flav to Carmelo Hayes, Chuck D.
But he's fucking annoying.
Yeah, and you sing the spotlight away from Carmelo.
Yes, but absolutely, and I 1,000% agree. But the reason why I don't like Trick Williams is he's like an echo in the promo kind of thing.
Yes,
like a parrot, and it's like, I'm not hard of hearing. I heard what Carmelo said. You don't. I know I'm in a wheelchair. I know I'm disabled, but my ears are pretty goddamn good. I'm fine. So what is the purpose of Trick Williams? Does he wrestle from time to time? And that's a question, by the way.
He does, yeah. He's had matches.
Okay, is he good in the ring?
He's all right. I wouldn't call him great.
Yeah.
But he's okay. Here's my thing. If you're in NXT, AEW, WWE, etc., you know how to wrestle. I will never say that you can't.
But
some of them.
I'll say this. Trick Williams wrestles, but stop looking for the camera. Even when you're wrestling, stop looking for the camera. Just do your thing.
Yeah. Whenever he does that, I get flashbacks of that Royal Rumble where it's like the Great Khali is looking for the camera, and you can literally hear Shawn Michaels going, that camera.
Yeah, right. Gosh. Is that all you had, Elliot?
That's all I have, yep.
All right. High points. I'm like you guys. Tiffany Stratton versus Sol Ruca. This was a good match. I honestly feel like the athleticism was a little too much on hand, just with the back flips and the sprint and, all that. And that's great. But it kind of took away from the match itself. This was still a good match. I just wanted to point that out. It was a little choreographed, I thought, but it was still good. So I gave it a high point. And like you guys said, Duke Hudson versus Grayson Waller versus Dragon Lee versus JD McDonough in a fatal four-way. This was a great match. Great fatal four-way. Duke Hudson really showed out here, I thought. And Grayson getting the win, I'm okay with that because this gets a good match with Carmelo because it seems like Carmelo's having a babyface turn here soon. Waller is a perfect opponent for that. So I'm looking forward to it. Low points, like we said, the promo, the start of the show. Again, Tony's not here to say it, so we fucking will. Trick Williams, like we've said, just shut up. You ruined this entire promo. Just the start of it. Carmelo was doing good, and that's what he said. Like, stop, dude. Right? Seriously, you killed this whole fucking thing. It's terrible. And nobody else could have saved it.
I forget what Carmelo said. We got duped or whatever, and Trick's like, won't happen again. Like, shut up.
Exactly. Another low point I had, Eddie Thorpe versus Javier Bernal. Just like Elio said, Javier Bernal, I never understood his character, probably never will. I don't fucking get it, this whole thing.
I just like that Mackenzie Mitchell just like calls them out all the time.
I know, right? It's great. And like we said, Ilya Dragunov versus Von Wagner. This should not have been a fucking match. Von Wagner shouldn't even be near Ilya Dragunov. So I don't know where they're going with Vaughn. Squash match, did not like it. So, and that's all I have for NXT.
All right. So overall, what do we have, Ben?
I'll give it a C+.
I'm right there with you. I gave it a C+.
I'll give it a C+ as well.
Oh, great minds think alike. All right, let's give it the Dynamite with Elio.
All right, AEW Dynamite.
Woof.
And okay. The MJF high points I gave the MJF Darby Allin Sting promo.
Okay.
And even the match itself with Swerve Strickland wasn't bad. And another high point for Cassidy and Buddy Matthews.
Yeah.
But for low points, I have Will Hobbs and Silas Young.
What the fuck was that?
Exactly.
I was, because, just real quick, not to cut you off, Elio. Like, I'm a little bit more familiar with what Ring of Honor used to be, because they literally used to be in the backyard, in my backyard, like 20 minutes away from me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I saw how good Silas Young really is.
He is good, yeah.
And for him, of all people, to be used as a crash test dummy, and nothing against Will Hobbs, absolutely not. But it's just, why the fuck would you do that?
Yep.
I don't understand that, because you're trying to build, ROH as a credible show. I don't think that's going to happen with just being on their own little thing. That's not TV. But but destroying one of their really important guys from the past isn't going to get it done.
Nope.
I agree.
The little point I have that whole Ethan Page promo. I mean, Jeff Hardy's return, okay, but it's like that whole segment, like really. And Blackpool Combat Club and Nakazawa and Brandon Cutler and that main event, Keith Lee and Jericho.
Why was that the main event?
Well,
seriously,
why did the match even take place, let alone be in the main event? And I'm asking legitimately. Like,
I think last week didn't Keith Lee cut Jericho off like when he was being interviewed or something, and then Jericho got mad and challenged him or something.
Yeah, I mean, that was the thing. Like, they were in the back. Jericho was on the mic doing a promo. Keith Lee comes up and then towers over him. Chris Jericho cowers in fear, and then they have a match. I'm not saying this shouldn't have been a match. I just don't understand why the fuck it was the main event.
Neither do I.
Why? I don't know.
So that's my high points and low points for the AEW event. What do you got?
So I had the exact same high points. Low points, I have to give it to Powerhouse House versus Silas Young for the reasons that I explained. I would also give a low point to the women's match, and also the Blackpool Combat Club versus Nobody Gives a Fuck.
And there's some now a tag team, fucking Nakazawa and Brandon Cutler. This is all of a sudden a tag. Since when?
Just because Nakazawa was like friends with Kenny Omega. So what?
And then I don't want to call this a high point or a low point, but I would like to have a discussion with the two of you.
Okay.
What did you guys think of Jeff Hardy coming back? I'm really curious to get your take on this, because I'm very torn.
I'm not very happy about it. If you want my honest opinion, Jeff has had so many chances after chance after chance, and you know what? He doesn't need to come back. I don't understand why he needs to come back anyway. He has nothing to fucking prove. He's honestly, if it wasn't for his recklessness of his life, of his personal life, he'd be a Hall of Famer. First ballot. Easy. But here's the thing. He's on his final straw. He's got to be on his final straw with everybody, with WWE, with AEW, etc. This guy, honestly, if it wasn't for his fame, he would be in prison. The way he was acting, not acting, the way he was on, how drunk he was driving. He could have killed somebody. The way he couldn't even walk out of the fucking car. This is exactly what I'm saying. Like, how many times is this guy going to get? And how many chances? And, oh, well, here he comes. Jeff Hardy returns. Okay. But, bro, you're on your final straw. You fuck up one more time.
Yeah.
I just don't see anybody else giving you another chance.
Did you just see even Bully Ray commented on Busted Open?
Yes.
He said right. Jeff Hardy better not fuck it up.
He better not. Seriously.
But the thing with me is, and I take this a little bit more personal for personal reasons that I'm not going to get into here. But the fact that this guy still has a job, let alone is not in jail, mystifies me. And let me explain something to you. I am not insensitive to the fact that addiction is what it is. Okay, I want to be very clear with that, because I've seen what addiction does to people and the people around them.
Sure.
Okay, I completely understand that. I got it. 5 motherfucking times And the same with the Usos. Not as public, but 5 motherfucking times. Who else do you know will get 5 chances, and let alone all these chances to be, in a prominent position on wrestling TV? Listen to me. I grew up, a huge Jeff Hardy guy.
Me too.
Absolutely. From a wrestling perspective and what he did for my childhood, I got a lot of love for that guy.
Yeah.
But that does not change the fact that what the fuck are you doing back on TV?
Exactly.
I feel bad for Matt too, because you could see how happy he was, and how excited he was, and Matt's had his problems too, but Matt's gonna get screwed. Matt has constantly gotten screwed by Jeff's issues.
Yep.
Because they're so interconnected with each other. But it's just, the bottom line is, folks, Jeff Hardy, the wrestler, doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
It's Jeff Hardy, the person, that matters here. I want him to be alive. I want him to be good long term. Did he look good on TV from what I saw for that minute and a half, whatever? Yes. I heard reports that he is having eye surgery, so he's not coming back to the ring anytime soon. So why the fuck would you bring him back now?
I read that too, that he'll be out 6 to 8 weeks.
Why would you bring him back now? But that doesn't even matter. That's my point. The wrestling shit doesn't even matter. It doesn't even enter my brain.
Yeah.
The fact that we are discussing Jeff Hardy and his addiction problems still in 2023, it's just mind-boggling to me. Like, I want to care about the guy. I legitimately do. I would never wish harm on somebody, but at some point, it's just like, you have to focus on you and get out of the public limelight, because you have done so much damage to your credibility. And like I said, the fact that he is not in jail is just a, I called Vince Michael Myers earlier. I mean, he is dodging bullets like a ventriloquist here if your name is Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Yep. All right. Is that all you got?
Is that all you got?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Overall.
Hey, I got mine.
Oh, gosh. I thought you gave yours to go on.
There you go. All right. High points. The only one I had, I'll make it short and sweet, is Buddy Matthews versus Orange Cassidy. Even though I don't like Orange Cassidy's gimmick,
I'm right there with you.
I mean, at least he's really good with Buddy tonight, or not tonight, Wednesday night. So this was good. The title, meh, I'm not very fond of it. But that's the only high point I had for this Dynamite. Low points, we all said it. Powerhouse Hobbs versus Silas Young. Why the fuck was this even a thing? I mean, Silas Young was in his hometown of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, but he got squashed. What a fucking return there. But no, and another low point, Jon Moxley and Claudio versus Brandon Cutler and Michael Nakazawa. What the fuck was this? And you're trying to build up Moxley and Claudio and Wheeler Yuta, and that's great. But how do you?
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. But the only person that needs to be built up there is Wheeler Yuta. Like, Jon Moxley and Claudio are untouchable. What the?
But the tag team of fucking Nakazawa and Brandon Cutler, and you're looking dominant like that? Get the fuck out of here. Like, are you kidding?
Yeah.
Elio and I could have went out there and whooped them two's ass.
Right?
I mean, I could have. I'm sitting in a wheelchair, okay? So that takes 2 limbs out of the equation, okay? I have a dead pretty much like an 85% dead hand on the right, and with one hand I could beat their ass. I mean, it's just but it's so stupid. Like, why? What's the purpose?
And another low point I had, Chris Jericho versus Keith Lee. Like we said, why was this a main event? Keith Lee is a shadow of himself. I don't know what they're doing with him. And of course, look at that. Chris Jericho wins. Congratulations. Whatever.
And why the fuck is Keith Lee wearing a cape? I know I said it to start the show, but
yeah.
I don't understand that.
I don't think anybody does. All right, that's all I have for Dynamite. Now, overall,
overall, another C- show.
Bro, I'm right there with you. I give it a C-.
Clean across the board, C-. Absolutely.
Look at that. Wow.
All right, now we're going to move on to SmackDown with Clay.
All right, we're going to SmackDown Breakdown. High points. I gave it LA Knight versus Xavier Woods. I thought this was a good match between these two. And even though I said, LA Knight losing, he doesn't need to be, but it was still a solid match between these guys. Another high point, Santos Escobar versus Damian Priest. This was a great match, guys. And I love this whole LWO versus Judgment Day. This is honestly second to the Bloodline in WWE's storylines, in my opinion, of how this is going with Rey and Dominic. Not only that, but Judgment Day, you bring in LWO back. This is awesome. So I gave that match a high point. And another high point gave to Solo Sikoa versus Matt Riddle. Even though I thought this was a decent main event, I think this could have been better than what it was, but I still gave it a high point because it was telling a story. It was good for what it was, and I liked it. And I love Solo Sikoa. I do.
Yeah, I'll tell you, he's a beast.
He is. And even as the show was ending, did you guys notice he was talking in like a Samoan, I don't know, like language. It sounded just like, again, it sounded like Umaga. Just like, I can't do it. But if you go back and listen, Solo was talking like a maniac, and I fucking love it. It was great. So I gave that a high point. Low points, Raquel and Liv's championship celebration. Okay. I'm not a big fan of this tag to begin with. It's okay for what it was, but then you add Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville,
right?
And their annoying ass. It's like, oh god. But I gave that a low point. That was really my only low point of SmackDown. Side notes: the return of Shinsuke Nakamura. Well, that was awesome to see. So I missed me some Shinsuke. So ready to see more. The only thing. Pat McAfee needed to come back on commentary for Nakamura's entrance. That's the only thing that was missing from Nakamura's return, in my opinion. So
absolutely.
Yeah, there you go.
Or have him come out walk out on the station, play his air guitar.
Right? That's what I want. And come on. But that's just me. That's all I had for SmackDown. Elio, what are your thoughts, brother?
I had the same as you. High points, same low points.
All right. Short and sweet. Ben, what do you have, brother?
Okay. Same high points. But the issue that I have with SmackDown is that once you get past the major storylines, obviously that being the Bloodline, and then whatever's going on with Judgment Day and the LWO, which side note, I love the fact that the LWO is back in some form.
Yes.
That makes me so happy I could bounce. It's a piece of my childhood. I gotta get me one of those LWO shirts. That's just tremendous. But the rest of the show that did not revolve around the Bloodline or Judgment Day, what's the point of it? I don't mean that as an insult to the talent, but it feels so much like filler because you have so much of the of the bloodline stuff sprinkled in, justifiably so. But you have like right after the tag match ends, you have the promo with Paul Heyman trying to pump up Solo, and then of course he almost killed Paul Heyman, which I would have enjoyed seeing. Damn.
Right?
No. I mean, I love me some Paul Heyman, but Solo Sikoa is rapidly becoming one of my favorites because I think he captures something that by and large professional wrestling is missing right now, and that's like when he comes to the ring, like he legitimately looks and gives the feel like, oh my God, you're about to get hurt.
Yeah.
Like for real, and that's something that I really appreciate. So that's what I had for SmackDown.
Alrighty. Overall, I gave SmackDown a B this week. Elio, what'd you give it?
Right there with you, I gave SmackDown a B.
All right, and Ben, what'd you give it?
I'll give it a B plus.
See, that's okay, but dang it, we were so close because every show we had all the grades right, then Ben had to throw the plus in.
Right?
Did you notice that?
Yeah, he had to be different.
That's okay. That's all right.
That's all right.
Well, I'm just being honest. So
Yeah, it's all good. I was like, oh man, but that's okay.
Yeah.
All right, now that's wrestling, or that's the that's the wrestling.
That's the weekend wrestling.
That's what I'm trying to say. Thank you, man. Good God, man. Like I said, it's been a long day. Anyway, we're going right into Battle of the A show, which basically what we do is go through all the shows of this week and we'll choose an A show for this week. But we'll do 2 this time since last week we were on vacation. Ben, did you watch any bunch of shows last week so we get your opinion on it?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
So,
all right.
But you're good.
All right, good. For me, last week's Battle of the A show was NXT, in my opinion. I thought this really brought it out.
Yep.
NXT was my favorite show to watch for last week. So I'm going to go with NXT. Elio, what do you think?
I agree with Money at Raw.
Ooh.
I'm just
Okay.
You know I had to do that.
No. I was like, he's got to be trolling.
I hope you were. Raw was terrible last week.
I've got NXT as well.
Good deal. Ben, what was your A show for last week?
I would have given it to probably SmackDown.
Okay. All right. Well, it's 2 out of 3. So NXT gets the win for this week.
So NXT moves up to 1.
All right, and like Elliot said, after WrestleMania, we restart the points for the shows, and so NXT's up 1-0 right now. Now we'll go to this week. For me, this week Raw I think was the best show. I think this was a lot better than it was last week. And more exciting, was one of my favorite shows. So I picked Raw. Ben, let's go with you. Who was your A show for this week?
Raw.
Okay.
Yeah.
Elio, what about you?
I've got Raw as well.
All right. So that puts a notch on Monday Night Raw. So they are tied currently with NXT. All right. That was Battle for the A show. Now we're going into the book. Basically, what we do is put the most ridiculous things that happen in this week of wrestling. And, we just do it for a good laugh because, everybody needs it every once in a while. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right. First one, Baldy Sam's Go Fuck Yourself.
Fuck him. Stays.
That stays. Yeah.
Kevin Dunn's camera shots.
Stays. Especially after last week's Raw. That was so bad.
Dude, with Brock and Cody. My God.
It's like I said on past episodes, I had to put my arm in front of my face just to stop it.
I can only watch WWE TV like most of the time with one eye. Like I have to give myself a break because their camera cuts
Oof.
are just absolutely brutal. But you're exactly right. That beatdown with Lesnar and Cody, holy crap! I was getting dizzy.
Yep. So that stays.
Absolutely. No trick Willie shot.
Stays.
Absolutely.
Stays. AEW time management.
That
Stays. Yep. Orange's knapsack.
Stays.
Gotta stay, please.
Trick's not fitted hat.
Stays.
Stays. AEW's absurd commentary.
Stays.
Absolutely. Stays.
Tony shit Bonnie.
Stays. And he did it again this week with the still sting.
I heard that too. My God damn it. I could have lived without that. I really could have. Damn.
So catch me up. What's your guys' issue with Tony Schiavone?
Some of the stupid things he says, Clay.
Oh, he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
On commentary. Just annoying as shit. He doesn't know, like, even when a heel comes up like MJF and he'll it's like, dude, it's just annoying as shit.
He calls MJF an idiot.
Yes.
Or he calls the Gun Club. I think he even said the same thing about the Gun Club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just that. Exactly. Barney's stolen hat.
Stays. Oh my God.
It's gotta stay.
Okay.
Yes.
So sorry, I gotta say this because I was watching Rampage while I was waiting for you guys to log on.
Uh-huh.
He was there again. He's got this rapping gimmick going on now. And he ends it with, I like this hat.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's just terrible. And even like the fans are going, oh, we like the hat. No, stop it. God.
Somebody has got to explain to me why Jake Hager is in the position that he's in, because ever since he lost that WrestleMania main event spot due to the marijuana arrest, this guy has never been the same in pro wrestling. Because now not nearly to the same degree, but to me, he has like the same pedigree as like a Brock Lesnar or Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, why isn't he like a serious ass kicker? No, he's wearing a purple fucking floppy hat.
Exactly. Seth's pretty deadly wardrobe.
Stays.
Oh, Jesus, it's gotta stay.
Yep. Porn stash McMahon.
Stays.
You gotta save that motherfucker, dude.
I think that's gonna be a permanent resident in Porn Stash McMahon in the book.
Let's hope not, because I don't want to hear it. And last but certainly not least, and I was born ready to do this one. Fuck's wrong with Tony Khan's eyes?
Everything stays.
Yes.
He's got to be on something.
Oh, for sure. And that is all that we have for the book. And I guess that's the end of the show because we don't have Tony for the 5-second shuffle. So Elio retains his title for at least one more week. So we'll just see what next week holds. That being said, this is the end of the show, and this was WPOV. Thank you guys for listening. I am your host of 50. What's up?
And of course, this show will be posted up on Tuesday.
Oh, thank you, Elio. So with that being said, this show will be, like Elio said, be posted on Tuesday. We will also put it on our Facebook page, and we're here for you guys. Thank you for listening. And thank you for reminding me, Elio. So with that being said, I am the $50 man, Clay Cummings, along with the gentleman,
Elio Canella.
And the original,
Ben Pierce.
All right. Love, peace, and wrestling. Thank you, Ben, for being on the show. We'll see y'all guys next week. Peace out.